It's the most controversial World Cup in history.
FIFA announced that Qatar would host this year's game. Since then, Qatar has come under scrutiny for treatment migrant workers.
The 2022 World Cup in Qatar was clouded in controversy.
Moreover, Qatar's attitude to same-sex relationships has prompted calls for the emirate to be shunned.
Where many lost their
Canadian government is formally warning.
Where many
Same-sex relationships are also
Soccer fans traveling to the World Cup.
illegal.
Openly gay in Qatar is illegal.
The country provides no legal guarantee of freedom of the press or freedom of expression.
It's obviously a moral minefield.
women's rights and freedom of expression are in the spotlight.
Wake up to reality.
The World Cup 2022 has come and gone. We've witnessed one of the best finals, some of the most surprising results, a new world champion, and of course, the most biased, hypocritical media coverage of any sporting event in recent history.
Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome to Halalsnackpack. My name is Juliana and this is
Easy.
Today we'll look at some of the most ridiculous headlines and double standards of the World Cup.
We can't cover everything because that would take like a week. So if there's something that we miss, comment them down below and yeah, we'll have a look.
Hit like and subscribe.
So firstly, we want to encourage everyone to read. Find the facts and don't just rely on the information that's fed to you. Because media corporations have agendas. News outlets have agendas. They will make you believe what they want you to see. You should know what's in the sausages that you're eating. If they can rewrite the Bible, they can rewrite anything. I'm not saying the media rewrote the Bible, but they being the people in power. It's a general they. I'm not talking about some stupid pronouns.
Stop it. Get some help.
Remember this, they're not your friend or on your side. Unless they can sell you something or further their agenda, they will say anything that benefits them. They will do everything to demonize and dehumanize Muslims and Islam. In public relations, this is known as spin, providing a biased interpretation of a story, of an event. From Sydney to Berlin, from Paris to Oslo, from New York to New Zealand, the majority of the Western media has portrayed this World Cup in a negative light.
But yeah, keep in mind, we're not saying Qatar is perfect, it's guilt-free, no country is. But what we are talking about and highlighting here is the double standards of the media. So let's look at some examples.
Hypocrite.
BBC and ITV chose not to broadcast the World Cup opening ceremony, but instead a pre-packaged report about Qatar's human rights records.
Hypocrite.
But BBC had no issue covering the Winter Olympics in China or the World Cup in Russia in 2018.
To the treatment of migrant workers.
So England World Cup jerseys that cost £115 were made by Thai factory workers that are only paid £1 an hour. Where's the outcry there?
Get used to it or stay out of football.
Next, we have the European countries' insistence on wearing the rainbow armband. Other men have gone to jail at the peak of their athletic careers to stand for what they believe in. On the other hand, Harry Kane was afraid of a yellow card. Not that it really mattered though, because I think they chose to focus on things other than the football, because deep down they knew the only thing that was coming home was disappointment.
In a cartoon, the French magazines depicts the Qatari team holding knives, explosives, RPGs, and whatnot, basically as T-words.
Legend has it that the French are always drawing racist cartoons because of their fondness of surrendering. Apparently, they had such a large collection of white flags that they would use it as a canvas to draw. That was obviously a joke, just like the French magazine.
Quiet, please. No need to shout.
The Germany team... The German team covered their mouths in a pre-match photo against Japan to protest being blocked from wearing the One Love armband. They did all that only to lose 2-1 to Japan.
Let's laugh at him.
There was some confusion with this protest because some people thought it represented what Europe did during the genocide of the Bosnian people. No one said anything. When Özil spoke out about the genocide of the Uyghurs, he was mocked and made an outcast by his football team and German outlets. So I guess it's only one love when it suits them.
You are an imbecile. You are an imbecile.
The Danish Football Association considered leaving FIFA over the banning of the One Love armband. Where were the Danish Football Association when their own government banned niqab? Or where were they when their government actually started talking about banning hijab, stopping girls from going to school? Where's the love in that?
Where's the outcry when Muslim female students have to remove their hijab to go to school? Where's the outcry when Uyghur Muslim women are forced to marry Chinese men? Where's the outcry there?
And Norwegian media was, like everyone else, covering this very negatively, made a big deal out of every tiny thing that was remotely positive. And the outrage you could see in the comment section, also by journalists, was that, oh, human rights, we can't watch this. But funnily enough, they had no issue whatsoever watching the Winter Olympics in China this year. Like, that was wonderful, amazing, no issue.
Well, maybe it's just because you're ugly.
So now we'll be moving on to more general topics like misogyny and gay rights and things of that sort. So many media outlets went on and on about how women's rights and gay rights in Qatar were such and such. For example, there's been remarks made by news reporters saying we don't see any women in the stands. Trivial things from female reporters saying
just had to go through a special gate in Qatar for ladies only. Somehow I don't feel that special about it.
Shut up, bitch!
Like I said before, it's spin. Anything they can misconstrue or portray in a negative light, they will.
It's not even an issue. It's a woman's only space. Would they go and complain about women's only gym spaces? I don't feel like it's special.
And also something you see more in the general public. Comments all over social media talking about how women's rights, oh, but the women aren't allowed to do this. The women must be covered. Which is kind of ironic because within their own countries, they can't even define what a woman is.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Oh my God!
The coverage from the English media has been hypocritical to say the least. They go on and on about women's rights when, let's look at their country. Research by the University of Lancaster shows violent domestic abuse incidents increase by 38% when England loses football matches. Rates are also 26% higher when the team wins or draws.
When they win?
No matter the result, the women lose. And this also occurs in domestic football. This isn't just international football.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
I love men.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I do, please don't be shocked, have sex with other men.
Whoa, 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 hey, 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 hey.
This is normal. So please get used to it or stay out of football.
Well, the media outlets were crying about if gay people will be welcomed into Qatar and the alphabet people will feel safe in Qatar. While all of this was going on, a white man in USA gunned down 5 people and injured 18 in a gay bar.
And he was non-binary.
So I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that you're more likely to get shot and gunned down as a gay person in America than in Qatar. Just saying.
This is clown behavior.
So we've all seen the sweet moment when the Moroccan players were embracing the mothers, giving them a hug after the match. And the Danish people, the Danish news outlets, looking at this, they literally compare them to monkeys. Monkeys. And they apologized. It was so sorry. They didn't think about it. But seriously, if this was any white players hugging their moms after a match, that word would not even fall into their minds. It wouldn't be there. They would be like, oh, that's sweet. That's so nice. They're so grounded.
And it's also very ironic for people who are godless, who have no religion, calling other people monkey when they're the ones who believe in evolution. They're monkeys. You're a monkey. And this feeds into another headline saying to stop glorifying mothers, which criticized the Moroccan players for showing love to their mother at the World Cup. And again, this is an attack on families and motherhood. And I can't help but think this is driven by the feminist movement. They belittle motherhood and they tell you to focus on your jobs. They tell you that working a 9-to-5 job is more noble than being a mother that raises a sentient being, a mother that gives, loves, and nurtures an entire generation. But then again, what do you expect from people who give more time and energy to their dogs than to their parents? German media has compared Moroccan players to ISIS, Moroccan football players to ISIS. Okay, to give some backstory, this sign is a sign of Tawheed, the sign of oneness of God. And just because some group takes it and distorts the meaning of it or uses it as their symbol, that doesn't mean it's theirs. Similar to a rainbow, the alphabet people have hijacked the rainbow and made it into something way different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty ironic this is coming from a German outlet, considering that because of a select group of goofy Germans, if you angle your hand just a bit slightly, a friendly hello can turn into a hate symbol. It's also rumored that ride-hailing companies like Uber were created because people can't hail down a cab anymore. Also coming from the German media, there were accusations about the Moroccan national team being anti-Semitic because they were holding the Palestinian flag. Which is funny because during the duration of this World Cup, a Palestinian footballer was killed by Israeli forces.
Huh? And then you have Vogue magazine talking about gay rights, football, women rights, Qatar. Like, it's Vogue. Keep to your stuff, man. Like,
what does Vogue have to do with football? Also, is this the same Vogue that is promoting Balenciaga? Like, you go to their webpage right now, you can see Balenciaga products and what to buy, and the same Vogue. And then you have the American news outlets and people on Instagram, on social media talking about human rights in Qatar. All the while they're teaching their kids how to block doors in schools. While they're teaching their kids it's fine to be a boy or a girl, you can choose. And they go to the cinema thinking they're going to watch a movie, but end up being on the news. They go to Walmart for cheap and mediocre goods, but they end up getting shot at. These are the ones that's lecturing you about human rights.
If I had the choice of watching the World Cup in Qatar or in America, I would definitely go to Qatar and feel way safer. Just as a woman, maybe a Muslim woman, just as a woman, I would feel so much safer in Qatar. I would literally feel scared in America, just going to the grocery store. And there's so much more we could talk about, so much more that we could mention.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't even touched hooligan culture in football, alcohol-fueled rage and riots, violence and overall degeneracy. And now we can just end on some positives. For example, the fans ignoring and rejecting Israel media.
That's pretty fun.
That's hilarious.
Fans across the world holding up the Palestinian flag.
The Saudi and Moroccan team doing sujud shukr whenever they score, they win, they lose. Beautiful example of Alhamdulillah always.
The hospitality of the Qatari fans.
This one is one of my personal favorites. The French president thinking they had a chance to win only for them to lose at the last moment.
And lastly, fans and entire families converting to Islam.
But also, let's not think that this was some huge Islamic event. There was music and dancing and all types of sorts. You know, we take what is good and we discard what's bad. In conclusion, overall coverage of the World Cup 2022 has been widespread with Eurocentrism, Orientalism, and it's no surprise why. The next World Cup will be held in USA. Can we expect all these pundits, celebrities, and commentators to talk about the human rights issues in America? It's the same media that tells you that the USA invading Iraq and killing over 1 million civilians was justified. The same media that portrays their soldiers as heroes for liberating countries by dropping bombs on them, killing civilians as a rite of passage for soldiers. These are their heroes. This is the same media that comes from countries which dropped a total of 337,000 bombs in the last 20 years. That's 46 bombs a day on countries in the Middle East and North Africa region. I don't think so. But we'll talk about it.
That's it for today. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and share with your friends and family if you find it beneficial.
And yeah, don't forget what they said about Islam and Muslims, because the World Cup will come again. And let's see if they bring up any human rights issues in wherever the next one is. Yeah, that's it.